So what is the influence of Aqeedah in our lives? Of course, there are different aspects that the Quran influences us in so many ways. The first thing is mentally and psychologically. Second is spiritually. Third, physically. And fourth, by giving us liberty. And I'm going to be talking about all this, inshallah. The first one is mentally and psychologically. Aqeedah is the richest food for thoughts. I remember when I used to sit down and learn Aqeedah from my scholars and from my teachers. I mean, seriously, I used to feel like I am in a different world. It's like we are sitting in here, but we are elevating in a different level of spirituality. Because really, when you talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is beyond our understanding and it is beyond our physical body. You feel like you're sitting there and you're just meditating while you're just listening to every single word about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, the Aqeedah is an answer to thoughts and questions. So when you ask about who created Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create us, and how did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establish himself on the throne, the Aqeedah answer all these questions, all these tough questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose of here? And why do I have to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If he created me, I should take it for granted. Why would I just go and devote myself and worship Allah? All these questions are answered in the Aqeedah. And it's very important to know these answers. Third thing is a guidance to the higher consciousness, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many people, they do so many kind of meditations and so many spiritual rituals and things. It may make them think that they actually reached their nirvana, for example, or their spiritual consciousness or whatever. But really, the Aqeedah is like a guideline for us. It is like a path for us to walk in, to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to get our spirituality higher than it is, subhanallah, and to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reach our true happiness and true joy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we know the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we know that Allah exists? It's all in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day, and the great ships which sail through the sea, with that which benefits people, and what Allah has sent down from the heavens of rain, giving life thereby to the earth after its lifelessness, and dispersing therein every kind of moving creature, and his directing of the winds and the clouds controlled between the heaven and the earth, are signs for a people who use reason." So how do we know that Allah exists? By meditating upon the nature, by meditating upon the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll know that everything that exists is so beautiful and it's put into place for a reason. And we know that there is no way that it just came by accident or incident or came in vain, but there is a creator to all these things, and the creator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, "And on the earth are signs for the certain in faith, and in yourselves, then will you not see?" So not only just looking outside, in the nature, but also looking within ourselves, whether the creation of our organ systems, or even in our hearts, like in the fitrah. We know, and our soul confirms that there is a creator for this world, and this creator is Allah and Allah alone. La ilaha illallah. The influence of Aqeedah in our lives spiritually. As we all know, spirit is the center of the entity of the human being. Although there is not real definition of what the spirit is. When the Jews asked the Prophet ﷺ about the spirit, he said that it is a matter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he did not give a specific answer to it because it is beyond our understanding and beyond our comprehension. Spirit has its way to connect with the higher being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And third, soul runs towards the fitrah. Whenever we do something wrong, when we do something bad, we always feel that we are disconnected, that we are withdrawn from this world or withdrawn from our relationships. And we feel that there is something wrong, right? But when we start doing something good and we start doing istighfar and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, little bit by little bit, all that burden in our emotions and in our soul starts going away. Why? Because our soul starts running toward our fitrah. Many people ask me about the fitrah. Fitrah, it is this instinct inside ourselves. This instinct is to always seek for the truth and seeking for our Creator and seeking for a purpose in our life and seeking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And everyone has this fitrah. But some people, they cover it with so many sins that basically this fitrah dies in their consciousness. But whoever has good, strong will to know and seek the truth, this fitrah will shine and will take you towards the truth, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Say each works according to his manner, but your Lord is most knowing of who is best guided in way." And they ask you, O Muhammad, about the soul. Say, the soul is of the affair of my Lord, and mankind have not been given of knowledge except a little. Subhanallah. The influence of Aqeedah physically. When we do salah, we're actually doing some kind of sports, not only meditation, but also we are using our physical body to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, there are some hadiths that encourages people to do sports, like for example, riding horses, learning how to fight, martial arts, for example, swimming. All these sports actually are very good for the body, and it is a form of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The food that we eat, eating healthy. I have a lecture, I talked about, the times of sicknesses, and I talked about the different herbs that the Prophet ﷺ used to prevent himself from the sicknesses and to increase his immune system. All these kinds of food are very important. The Prophet ﷺ used to eat luqaymat, means like very few bites, between 5 to 9 bites in a meal, just to keep himself strong without making his stomach so full, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the worst thing in the body of the human is his stomach. Also controlling the physical desires, whether the sexual desires, the food desires, smoking desires, drug desires, all these things. So the Aqeedah controls and disciplines our physical desires. And so everything has to be in balance. Food, drink, worships, talk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "O children of Adam, take your adornment at every masjid and eat and drink, but be not excessive. Indeed, He likes not those who commit excess." So not to take things for granted and be so excessive in eating too much, doing too much sports that may harm ourselves, right? So everything has to be with balance. Also, Aqeedah gives us liberty. Because we know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we know the pillars of Iman. It's like you're telling yourself, I will worship none but Allah. I will fear none but Allah. I will please none but Allah. I will ask none but Allah. I will love none but Allah and the ones whom Allah loves. And I will hate nothing except what Allah hates. Instead of being slaves by worshipping other idols and to please other people and so on. No, we're free. We do things that please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a pleasure for us as well. Jazakumullah khair. So I encourage everyone to learn the Aqeedah. And Aqeedah is very important. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the knowledge, and I have a license in teaching Aqeedah al-Wasitiyya. Inshallah, in the future, maybe I will be going over some of the Aqeedah aspects to learn more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. بارك الله فيكم. May Allah bless you. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.